All right. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Glow Up Tribe Team Zoom. It is every Wednesday night at 9:15 Eastern time. If you are watching the recording, make sure that you get your booties here live with us because it's way more fun when it's live. Let me just turn off my Facebook. Excuse my appearance. We just got back. Well, we didn't just got we kind of got back a while ago, but I have been a little under the weather, and I got to tell you guys that happens when you are having a major up level. So I am so excited because this event was definitely life-changing for me, and I know it was for the 5 other people who will be speaking this evening, and that's the cool part about this. You guys aren't going to be really hearing so much from me. I'll tell you my biggest takeaway before I hand it over, but we're going to be handing over this Zoom to the 5 Glow Up Tribe peeps that showed up to Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing event this weekend. It was absolutely amazing. We have literally a book full of notes. Like, I keep reading and rereading it, and it's just like, there's so many things I want to implement right away, and I have to just pick a few, implement, then pick a few, implement, and all that jazz. But I did wanted to, before we get started into the training, so everybody's going to give their biggest takeaways. And, before we get into this, I do want to share that, as you guys know, we were talking about the More event, which is coming up in, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. I think it's less than a month at this point, or no, it's a little over a month away. It's May 25th to the 27th. And if you are not planning on going to that, you need to change your plans right now, because this is going to be an absolutely life-changing, business-changing experience for all of you, just like this Most Powerful Women was for us. So let us know, whoever your sponsor is or whatever. I want to know, if you are not going, I want to know your excuse, because yes, it's an excuse, and we're going to make sure that we get you there. So whether it's, money, can't get off of work, whatever, let us know. We will work with you guys. We will make sure that everybody gets there, because when we go there, everybody levels up. And it is a real statistic that when you do attend events, you earn 10 times your income than if you did not show up. So do you want to be those people falling behind, or do you want to be those people who are earning 10 times more? And I think after hearing some of the takeaways from this event, which isn't even a proven event, which proven events are insane, you guys are all going to be like running to get your tickets. So definitely keep that in mind and let us know. I absolutely cannot wait to meet you all. It's going to be so amazing. But yes, get in touch with us if for some reason you can't go, or you're thinking of, you're on the fence or whatever, So anyways, sorry, I am still very, very sick. So I'm going to turn it over in a second. I do just want to mention a few things about the event that really changed me and my life. And I think that it's something that I actually didn't tell some of the leaders that were there. So I got to tell you guys, if you don't know our upline, obviously right above me is Jessie Lee Ward, but above her is Lisa Grossman. And if you've never heard of Lisa Grossman before, her nickname is the godmother of network marketing. So you can only imagine the type of influence that she's had in network marketing as an industry. She's been in the industry for over 30 years, and we have full granted access to her, which reminds me, I have to put her in our team chat. I totally forgot, just remembered right now. She messaged me this morning and just was so proud of you guys. But we went up, it was about 2 a.m. that we went up to her room to chat with her. And this was just the Glow Up Tribe. We got exclusive access to her family, and just talking about just a lot of different things. And there was a moment in time that really got me in the feels. And I want to share it with you guys before we go into the training, because I think that there's something really super special about our team. Okay. So there were only a couple of us up there. All 5 of us were not up there, because like I said, it was 2 a.m. But when we were up there, there was a moment in time where I pulled to the side. Okay. And me and Lisa were kind of in the corner. We were like eating her sushi. I don't even know what we were eating. It was delicious though. And both Jackie, Luna, and Donna were all sitting on the couch with 2 other people who have been in the business since the very beginning of Prove It. And we were all sitting on the couch, and Lisa Grossman, the godmother of freaking network marketing, turns to me and goes, you know why both of us are sitting over here and they're over there, right? And I was like, I'm like waiting for her because her wisdom is always like, ah! And she goes, because we're sitting here and we're watching your leaders train and teach. And I was just like, so I got chills all over my body because yeah, she was watching you guys. And so was I. And we're sitting there and we're watching Jackie, Luna, and Donna speak to these two big, I mean, they're more than, I don't even know what rank they are, but they're big leaders in Prove It and teaching them stuff that we've learned in the past couple months that they don't know about in 2 years of being with Prove It. So if that doesn't tell you what an amazing freaking team, system, everything that we have, I mean, I don't know what does. It was just, I still have chills all over my body from it because it really made me reflect on the fact that, like, you know, our leaders here, we have everything that we need, you guys, to be up on those stages. We absolutely are enough. And that was one of my biggest takeaways was we have everything we need to be on that stage. It's just a matter of getting past some of those fears. Right. So that just blew me away. And I think that was amazing, but I am going to definitely hand this over to whoever wants to speak first or maybe needs to speak first for whatever reason. I think you can unmute yourself. See if you can. If not, I'll unmute you, but I'm pretty sure you would have the access. I think Juliette's looking to unmute herself.
All right.
Oh.
I am muted. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh. I missed out on that 2 o'clock in the morning thing. I went home too soon. Oh, well. You know what? I went through my notes and I was like, let me highlight what was, you know, and I'm like, and I got all kinds of stuff highlighted. So I'm not going to take a lot of time, but for me personally, you know, I'm having issues with the script and I compare myself to everybody else. And somebody came up with the idea of practicing and recording yourself on the Zoom. And so I loved that idea. And I thought, you know, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to record myself and start, you know, doing all the different scripts until I feel comfortable and natural. And, you know, and then I can go back and critique myself. So that is one of the things that I actually loved. And then another one that I also need to really, really work on is embracing my storytelling, because I don't really know what my story is. So, so that's something that I definitely want to work on and be very, you know, fluent with it when I share and I talk about it. So that is something else that I need to work with. And my third one is using journaling to train my mind. So as you know, I read the book and I'm going to read it again. And I loved it. I mean, it really opened my eyes to myself as well as to all the people around me, you know, how we talk to ourselves and how, you know, and a lot of it came from my parents and teachers and all of that. So for my age, I've been carrying it around for a long time. So, so I'm constantly, my daughters laugh because I'll say something and I go, nope, and then I change it right away. And so they're seeing it too, you know. So, so the idea of journaling, you know, to help reset my mind, what I thought was a great idea. So that's what, those are the 3 things that I picked out of everything that I highlighted in this book.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I gotta say, like, by the way, you guys, I've worked with Juliette for, I think we said 3 years now, right? Yeah, 3 full years. We went from company to company together. I've known her for a very long time. And we just met for the first time this weekend. It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, if there's anything that I've seen with Juliette is that she never, ever gives up, you know, and she's been through so much and different companies and everything, and she never gives up. She showed up. She absolutely, definitely had a lot of those moments, I think, in the event where she was just like, oh my God, you know,
yeah.
oh my God. like, I feel like this is it, you know? And that's what the cool thing about events are, is they really do show your true potential. And I think that that's awesome. So thank you for sharing, Juliette. I appreciate you.
Oh, no problem. You know, listening to all those leaders and hearing their story at the beginning, and they were just like us, you know, and you forget that, you know, I forget that. I assume that they woke up and boom, they were successful, and hearing their struggles, you know, I was just like, wow, you know, they could do it. I could do it. Most definitely. I want to get on that stage one day.
Woo! Yeah, girl. I love it. I'm so proud of you. And she's exactly right. It's some of them said, I know Rachel Jackson, which is somebody that I've been following forever. She's like, for the first 4 years, I was just piddle paddling, trying to learn this stuff. Right. So really, really cool and awesome stuff. So whoever wants to go next can unmute themselves and hop on. Anyone?
Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and go then. Okay, I think everybody knows me. I'm Luna. I'm going to give you guys, I have a little bit. So one of the things that I would recommend for you guys to do is one thing that Eric told us to do is to have pen and paper. Be not just listening to this. This is teacher me too, right? You want to be processing this. So have pen and paper, be writing this down. I'm going to give you a lot of information. So star the things, right? Like have your hand going. And that is literally what I do. I have so much information and I have certain things starred that I'm going to share with you. And then you're going to have a whole bunch of stars. So then you can pick your 3 from that you really want. So I'm going to start on, well, first, okay, I want to back up and say everything Christina said about events is so true. And I am one who's always like, I'm very understanding. I came from a culture where it was like, you got shamed for excuses. Okay. So I don't ever want to shame somebody if there is something going on, but I will tell you this, if it is in your heart to be a rank 6, if you want to make yourself into a leader, if you want to be on the stages, if you're like, I want to get out of this job, right? Or I want to be, you know, making an impact in this way, and you're telling yourself there's a reason you can't go, I would really invite you to examine that. If you could only be there for one day, that one day will change your life. It will impact your income, okay? Myself right now, I'm selling my way for a ticket, right? It's like we all have things, right? We all have reasons why we couldn't go or couldn't do it. So, and you guys all being here, I understand that you are dedicated and you are, you know, all of those things. But if there is something and you kind of find yourself going back and forth, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, why that might be. But really, I invite you to explore that, right? And really decide, what do I want out of this? And if you only want to make a couple $100 or, you know, supplement your regular income and you're happy with what you're doing, awesome. But if you're someone who's saying you want a really big goal, then really examine that. Okay, so that being said, I'm like scanning. I'm just like, spirit lead me to what we need to hear right now. Okay, so I did make a live video, but I want to talk about this. The sun and the moon thing blew me away. And so I'm going to invite you to do this right now. How many of you, raise your hand if you do have another job outside of Prove It? You have another source of income. Raise your hand so I can see that in the camera. Okay, so lots of people. So I want you to go ahead and write down what that is on your piece of paper as well as Prove It. You have both of those things. Now, with having both of those there, I want you to ask yourself, which one of these do you dream about the most? Which one of these is what everything else revolves around? Okay, and I want you to circle that one and be honest. Circle the one that you dream about. Circle the one that your heart is in, that your mind is on, and you will find that there is one that is more dominant than the other. Okay, so this is what he said after we completed that the one that you dream about, the one that your heart is in, the one that you make things happen for, i.e. how I literally have exhausted every single sick day, which you are not supposed to use, okay, for events. I've exhausted every single one of them to go to these events. And I could go, oh, but I can't, or oh, blah, 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 blah. No, because this is my son. This is that when I'm teaching, I'm thinking about Prove It. I'm thinking about how can I impact people's lives? I'm looking at my students going, how can I, well, look at the girls especially and going, how can I make a way so these little ones one day can have more than a 9 to 5? If they want that, awesome, right? But if they want that path of making millions a month, how can I make a path for them? That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, so really examine that. Which one are you dreaming about the most? And then he says this, if your network marketing remains secondary, if it's the thing where, oh, I can't go because, you know, I've got this job, right? There's no chance. It serves no chance. No chance at all. That was so powerful to me. And you saw a lot of the people just kind of go, oh my gosh. And I feel like there are a lot of people who we say, like, I want this. And I've been there, especially in the beginning of my network marketing journey where it was secondary. And I would send messages and I would, you know, do things during my job. But just being aware of where you're at and what is your sun, and he calls the other one your moon, and that you will always, always, always be true to the sun. You will sabotage it. You will make excuses for the sun, right, to make the sun option work. And so if you want the network marketing, if you want to prove it to work and produce those results, and again, right now I'm speaking to those of you guys who want rank 6 and above. Okay, and I believe, and if you don't want rank 6, like, totally fine. We're here to meet you where you are, and they kept saying that over and over and over. But if you want rank 6 and above, you want that lifestyle, you want whatever those things are. Some of you have really big dreams. I know you share them with me. Then it has to become your sun. And he says this: you must immerse yourself. It must become the thing that you dream about. Okay, it has to become what everything revolves around. Okay, so we're going to keep going, guys. I've got lots of nuggets that are, like, amazing. So that was the sun and the moon, which was incredible. Okay, boom, boom, boom. There is one that's really popping out to me. I feel like we really need to talk about this one. Okay, so he says, learn to discipline your disappointment. And I would love to know, show of hands, how many of you, when you get a disappointment or you get a no, you say something like this to your upline: well, I'm waiting on this person to buy. I'm waiting on this person to join. This person ghosted me. And all of a sudden it becomes a conversation and you're wrapped up in it. How many has that ever happened to? Ever, 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 ever? Raise your hands. Okay. That is what they mean by disciplining your disappointments. If you focus on those things, more of that is going to expand. It's shifting into what have I done today? And that was another one that I started here because I love the way that he said it. That you are to judge yourself by the seeds you plant every single day. Not by this person who said maybe, not by this person who, you know, you have a 3-way chat with your upline, or by this person who commented on these are focusing on the wrong things, guys, right? You're focusing on other people's actions. All you can focus on is you, and this is so much bigger than Prove It. This is in other areas of your life too. If you're focused that much on other people, you are in super duper duper people pleasing mode, and it needs to be about those seeds. What seeds did you plant today? And do you trust that those seeds are going to grow into the rank 6? Or do you look at those seeds and go, well, I just don't know if it's going to work? Energy is everything. Energy is absolutely 100% everything. And he talked about this. He said, 80% is mindset. Tony Robbins says that. 20% are the skills. And I can tell you, not only on this team, but you can go look at the Empire. Love Angela. We all love her. But I can guarantee you there are people with more skills and no more than her. But the mindset, she has a better mindset. That's all it is. When you look at the people, that is all it is. They know what their sun is. And they know that the seeds that they plant are going to reap the results. And they're not getting hung up on the people who said no. If you remember the call she just talked about today, she was like, yeah, you know, there are people who don't answer. But that wasn't even something she talked about on the training, because it's not even registering that when she starts a 3-way chat, there's people who don't respond, because she's already on to the next person. And you've got to be on to the next seed that you're going to plant, and trust that if you plant enough, it's going to grow into what you want it to grow into. Okay, so he also said the stories in your mind are the stories of your life, which was incredible. Okay, let me find some more stars, but I'm going to be almost done here. Okay, okay, this was a bomb, and Christina, you were not there. You were somewhere, and I was like, I got to write this down. This is amazing. Okay, so this one is, it's not about how many people you recruit. Okay, so you're getting down yourself about recruiting. It's about how many you keep. Boom. Mic drop on that one, okay? All right, because you can recruit your face off, and the same thing with customers. All right, you can have 40 customers, but are you keeping all 40 of your customers? We have an incredible product, so it's not the product's fault, okay? So your customer service, the people who you do recruit into your organization, are they staying? Are they happy? Are they, all of those things? And again, we kind of have to divorce the outcome. There are going to be people who just separate or whatever, okay? So don't get wrapped up on that if it happens, because that's going to happen. But know this, if you're getting wrapped up in the recruiting game, focus on who you have. Who can you pour into right now? That's going to be super helpful. Okay, let me see. Do I have anything else that I want to say? There's nothing else that's popping out at me. Let me glance. Oh, Lisa's training. Okay, real quick, because Lisa is the godmother, okay, and she knows a thing or two. All right, she asked this question at the very end, which was amazing. Are you doing the most right now in your life to impact the most amount of people? And how can you do more of that? That's pretty powerful. If you lead every single day, and we have a product, guys, people fall asleep, right? Worrying about how are they going to pay for things. They go to sleep, overweight or with their diabetes or whatever, all these things. And we have answers to these things. Big life-changing things, right? One live video, one keto kitchen reaches thousands of people. So keep this in mind, right? What are you doing that can impact the most amount of people, and how can you do more of that? Because it really is raising the vibe. And I could go more and more and more into that, but that feels good right now. Okay, so that's me. Anybody has questions? You can let me know now, later, whenever. I'm going to pass the baton.
All right, awesome. Yeah, if you guys have questions, ask them in the chat or just afterwards or something. Like I said, we're gonna stay on afterwards, and well, actually Luna won't, but anyways, thank you so much for sharing, Luna. That was amazing. A lot of the takeaways that she had were some of the greatest takeaways that I had as well, and totally spot on with everything. So I'm so happy that you came, and I can't wait to see you again in a month. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. So let's pass it on to whoever wants to go next. I believe we have Donna, Jackie, and Valerie left. Anybody? Don't make me call on people.
Hi. I can talk.
Oh. Okay, you go.
Oh, you want to go, Val? You can.
All three of you came off mute at the same exact time. So, all right,
favorite.
Donna. Go ahead, Donna.
Okay. I have like kind of a lot, so sorry. I apologize in advance. So a couple of my really big ones. I have a notebook right in front of my face. So one of my favorite ones was resistance will show up. So right at the end when they were talking to us, one of the really big leaders came out and she was saying how like resistance is going to show up for us because she was talking about how we were motivated, right? And like we were all like super jazzed, like, yeah, we're going to slay our business, blah, 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 whatever. And then she was like, and you're going to get home and you're going to be like, I don't want to talk to this person. I'm tired, this, whatever, right? And so what she talked about was how resistance is going to show up in our life. And she said that it's going to come out in procrastination, right? It's going to come out in drama. It might come out in ways that we might numb out, i.e. drinking and or other ways. She talked about like criticism, right? And criticism towards ourselves or criticism from like family members, whoever, and really what she meant it by, and what she was saying was that you're afraid of your true authentic power. Like that's all forms of fear. And she said that it's all like fear of your self-worthiness, fear of stepping into that power. And so she said, just go for it and put your head down. And I just kind of love that because I feel like I've always stayed in this one place and just like would make up these stories as to why I couldn't go live or couldn't message that person or why they wouldn't need my product or why they wouldn't buy my product, right? One of the other things that came up and was a common thread in a lot of the speakers was consistency. And I feel like a lot of the times when we are not successful, it's consistency, right? And so like we might be ripping and rolling and then all of a sudden we just stop, right? And we just are like, okay, I'm good enough and I can take a break. And they actually talked about big leaders do that too. And then they lose like half of their organization as a result of resting on their laurels. But basically, you just have to stay consistent with everything. They talked about the 90-day game plan and talking to 15 to 20 people a day, which I know that we all kind of like speak about, but I think that we don't understand the impact that it makes about talking to 15 to 20 people a day and how it snowballs, right? And how like after a period of time, like 6 months, right, you might not be seeing anything, but after 6 months of time of talking to 15, 20 people a day, multiply that by, take 6, multiply it by 30, and then add 20 people to that, or like get 20 people of that. That's a lot of people, right? They talked a lot about velocity and going fast. They said that, yeah, sure, you could go slow, but it's going to take a lot more time and you won't get to the dreams that you want. You have to build momentum. They talked about how momentum really picks up and that 15 to 20 people a day will actually help get you there faster. Something that really hit my bones super hard was plugging into someone else's influence. I actually was like, oh my goodness, right? Like, so we come onto this because we come into network marketing because we want to have our own business. Like we want to have our own life. We want to have whatever, because we want to get out of corporate America or whatever crappy job that we're working. And we're like, we want to live our own life. Right. So one of the things that I realized was that I'm actually not always or ever thinking for myself, right? Like I'm kind of just doing what other people are telling me to do. And then, yes, all of the systems that we have in place are incredible, right? However, I'm not actually thinking, well, how could I build my team maybe a little bit differently? How could this work for a married couple that is building a team? How could this work for moms, right? Like I wasn't thinking in that direction when I'm, a lot of our team, our moms, our parents, whatever. And like, how can I do that to help moms, right? Because I work with a lot of different people that hate their jobs. How can I affect them and influence them and bring those kinds of people onto my team? And I actually ended up deciding to start a team chat, right? Like, I mean, whatever. Anyway, and we're actually, I know, Christina was like, what? But it actually stems some other really cool stuff but it stems some actually really cool stuff that we thought about, which it stemmed like some other thought processes behind that. A really awesome quote was, that one of the leaders said was, God can move mountains, but don't be surprised if he hands you a shovel, a pickaxe. And what that said to me was action, right? Like we need to take action in order to be able to make like huge moves in our business. Like God's going to help you do stuff, right? Like, or whatever you believe in, higher power, whatever it is, right? You are going to be able to do things, but you actually have to do the work to get there. Like you literally are not going to be able to be like, yeah, like, do you want to buy my product? No, it's not going to work that way. You actually need to do the work. This also is super important for me, including your family. I know a lot of us on here are mamas. I know a lot of us on here have husbands, parents, or our parents or whatever. And I have been doing a really bad job or poor job at including my kids, right? I have sacrificed a lot of my family values, and I have been looking to find a way to balance those things. And a lot of the moms on there talked about you can make $1 million and not sacrifice your family core values. And so that is possible to do that. You have to include your kids in order to be able to do that. They also talked about honoring your people. That to me is really important. I feel like sometimes when we're in sales, we get caught up in like other people's, have comparatitis, right? Of how other people's numbers are doing, but we forget about the people that we're selling to. We forget about who we're helping, right? And we also forget about their pockets. So some people can only buy a trial. Some people can only buy a box, and that might be it, right? And so what they talked about honoring your people is meet them where they are. Like it's not just our recruits that we have or our husbands or our kids or whatever, where they are and how they feel about our business. It's also our customers. And yes, of course you want to upsell, but at the same time, you also want to understand that if that's what they can get and this is what it's going to help them, that made me feel better on the inside. Another thing was they talked about social media. I know that I have had some struggles with, you know, posting about ketones every single day. I've come strides with social media, but I feel like sometimes like I get a little crazy with my ketones because I love them so much. And so one of the gals talked about have 1 in 7 posts be about ketones. And of course, if you have a great sale going, maybe you want to have it a little bit more, but like 1 in 7 posts, which I felt like feels good, right? So that's once a week. And we learned that with the 10-4-1 method, right? Like we know that already, but kind of that was helpful to me as well. I am statements was another thing that really stood out to me. I have been doing I am statements for the past couple of months since we started doing Miracle Mornings. And the I am statements are super powerful. If you guys aren't doing morning affirmations, they're very powerful. But what I realized I was doing was I was saying things like, I am working towards becoming a great leader versus like saying things like, I am a badass leader. Like I wasn't saying that, right? And so now it has switched. And I'm like, oh, but I am these things, right? So just kind of one of those things. Let's see. Okay. The other thing, I think that might be one of the last things. I think that might be, a question that was proposed to us was, what if the top of where you are, like in your life, was the bottom of your true potential? And I just like loved that statement because whatever, you might be at the top of your game now, but what if your potential actually was something much greater than you even thought was in store for you? That is unbelievably huge. And know that when you're experiencing adversity anywhere in your life, in your business, whatever, like this was another huge quote, adversity is preparation for greatness. So know that if you're experiencing anything difficult in your life, if it's like super hard, if you're like, gosh darn, like I just need this to be over. God bless America. I'm going to like go run myself into a ditch. That's for you, Luna. I was waiting for that. And so like, if you're just like, this is like over, just know that you're being prepared for something great. Okay. So that is all I have. Sorry. That was probably the whole conference.
You jam-packed that with some good info. But honestly, I mean, I hope you guys had a pen and paper out because that was some good stuff. And obviously the recording is going to be posted as well. So that was so
God bless America.
God bless America. God bless recording. But yeah, seriously, Donna, like I watched you transform into like this badass leader, just like your I am statements. It's like been insane. And you know, that's the truth. I know you downplayed, you said like, oh, I started a chat and like whatever, but like whether you have one person on your team or hundreds of people on your team or one client or hundreds of clients, those people bought from you and joined you. So you got to step into that power, right? Because they joined you or bought from you or whatever from you for a reason. So it was really cool, like watching the 5 women who showed up just kind of step into their power and realize that like, holy crap, like the potential is there. And I'm actually, I should say the 6th, because I'm that 6th woman for sure. Like I had a lot of moments where I was like, holy crap, like I'm a leader. Like this is time. Like it's time. So really cool stuff. Thank you, Donna, for all the info. We got 2 people left. So I mean, Jackie or Valerie. I think Jackie's eating. So Valerie, why don't you take it away and we'll let Jackie close it out.
Okay, guys. I'm going to focus, well, because there was so much. There was just so much there. So I'm going to focus more on like, well, the mom part of it, but a lot of the mom stuff can apply to anybody. So I'm going to focus on 4 things, but I'm probably going to ramble a little bit because there was so many nuggets. But the first thing that really stood out to me on the mompreneur panel and everything was be proud of who you are and what you do. You know, a lot of people are nervous about sharing the opportunity and saying that they're in network marketing because of the stigma. And the big thing that resonated with me is if you're not proud of who you are and what you're doing, then how can you expect somebody else to be? And so, be proud of your aggressiveness, be proud to be a strong, smart woman. And, why wouldn't you want all the people you know and love to reap the benefits that you are? Like, why wouldn't you want them to try your products? Why wouldn't you want them to have? And so that was a big thing that resonated with me. And, especially don't be afraid of your own aggressiveness. It was just huge. That was huge for me. Oh my God, Luna, I love you. So that was really big for me. And they also talked about posture. Like one of the big things is for us all is posture. So, and what do I mean by that is basically when you're on the phone with somebody or you're messaging someone or you're doing a live, you don't have to be the expert on it, but you have to approach it with some sort of, with certainty. Like, that this is a good product because you're a product of the product. Not, I kind of, this is good. It's working for me. And, it would be great if you tried it. No, you want to say, this is awesome. This kicks ass. I love it. And you have to try it. Like, you probably don't want to say all that on there because if you have family, they might not want you to cuss, but you just got to be certain of it. And then let's see, what else? One of the quotes that stood out to me too was, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. However, you can salt its oats. So I thought that was pretty cool. Thinking about it that way, like Luna said, and like everybody says, planting those seeds or salting those oats. So when you finally do lead them to the water, they're so thirsty, they have to drink. You don't make them drink, they want to drink. And then I'll say one or two more things, and then I'll get into the mom stuff. One of the biggest things, again, everything's like a biggest thing. Everything's highlighted in my thing now. What you're feeling at any given time, what you're feeling when you're stressed, when you're worried, when you're fearful, when you think, I just can't do this. You're feeling that because you choose to feel that. You don't have to feel that way. You can reframe that and say, you know what? I'm tired. I didn't really do what I needed to do today, but that's okay. My body needs to rest. Tomorrow will be a better day. Or like, oh God, I lost that girl. She went somewhere else. Well, instead of saying, well, what did I do wrong? You say, maybe she's being served better there. That's where she belongs. She doesn't really belong with me. So I wish her the best. And then you're on to the other person. It's basically reframing your thoughts instead of being negative or, feeling everything's your fault, feel that everything is your opportunity. And, that was huge for me. And check yourself. Like if you're starting to say, well, this product just isn't working, or, if only I could do this, it would be a lot easier if I could do that. Check yourself, because most likely it's not you. It's not what somebody else is doing. It's not the product. It's not your team member. It's not your leader. It's you. You're the problem. Like you're the one saying, oh God, this is a problem, but really you're basically projecting it. So check yourself and make sure that you're being real with yourself, because we lie to ourselves a lot. And there was one thing that they did, like an exercise that they did about, things that are true and things that aren't, but that's something that we'll get into at a different time. And probably Luna, you'd probably do a great live on that. But here's a little one. Write this down when you're watching this. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. That was huge. That was so big for me, because I haven't shared the opportunity a lot because I was nervous. Didn't really know what to say. I talk all the time and ramble forever, but for some reason I wasn't talking about the opportunity, and because I didn't want somebody to tell me no. And you're going to have people tell you no, and that's fine. It's going to happen, but there's always somebody waiting. Like some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting, and you need to focus on that person who's waiting and just go for it, because there's always going to be somebody else. There's always going to be somebody waiting, and that person could be the one that just explodes your team and your sales. Here's another one for you. Marry the process and divorce the results. Now, I don't know if that resonated with me because of the marriage and divorce thing. I don't know, maybe. But I just thought it was pretty cool. Marry the process and divorce the results. And so you just keep going and keep doing what we do. Use the scripts. Move on. Do this, do that. And then don't worry about if they say no. Just keep going. And so that goes into basically the mom stuff. And the mom stuff, being proud of who you are and what you do and posture, that falls into the family stuff for a lot of reasons. But really, if you have children, be hyper aware because they are always watching you. They watch you when you're happy. They watch you when you're sad. They watch you when you're frustrated. And when they see what mommy's doing, and they may not understand it. So, like Donna said, you want to get them involved and make them understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. And one of the things that they mentioned, how to get the kids involved, is to do vision boards with them, which I thought was really cool because Vivian wants to go to California. And so we are now working on a vision board for Vivian about how we're going to get her to California. Yes, I'm concerned that she's 5 and she wants to go to California, but whatever. She'll go stay with you, Christina. So the vision boards thing with the kids was a huge deal. And it said, where am I? I lost myself in my notes. Being someone that you aren't wastes the person that you are. So if you are the mom that you're trying to be a super mom, you're trying to be a super woman and do everything and be all things to all people, you're going to wear yourself out, and you need to know your limitations. You need to be who you are and set boundaries and make sure that you respect those and everyone around you knows what they are and they respect them as well. You've got to have purpose. They talked about having purpose and making sure that your children know that they have a purpose also. And, make that something very important for your family. Like Donna mentioned, your core values. Everybody needs to know that they're important to the family and to the business, because look, they said that you should look at it as a family business, not as your business, but as a family business, because what you're doing is creating something for your children, for your family, for the future. And if you don't look at it that way, then why are you doing it? Is basically what they were saying. And that hit me hard. That hit me like a brick upside the head. I was like, oh, okay. Let's see. What else was there? Oh, on the way up, don't forget that you didn't get there alone. So that brings in your family, that brings in your team, that brings in your upline, downline, sideline, everywhere. There's more to it than just you, and it's not about you. And you've got to remember that when you're building your team, when you're selling to customers, it's not about you, it's about them. And when you make it about them, what was it she said? Reverse the camera, reverse the selfie. It's not about you, it's about them. But they will buy the product because of you and join the team because of you. But it's not you. It's not about you. Yeah, the ussy. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Just a couple of more. Leveraging your time. So moms, this is the big one for us. Leveraging your time is super important. Well, for everybody really. But for moms, you've got, if you can only do 15 minutes a day, and that's all you can do, or 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there, build whenever, however you can. It doesn't matter if it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, if it's 6 o'clock in the morning, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, or, noon. Just do whatever you can, whenever you can, and just be cognizant of that. And make sure that the time that you have, quote unquote, your time, if that's the time you have to yourself, that you leverage it to make the most of those income producing activities. Like, you sit there, you veg out, you've got 30 minutes to yourself. You can either sit there and watch something on Netflix or Amazon, or you can hop online and talk to prospects, period. Like, are you growing your business or are you just sitting on your butt? So that's, if you want something bad enough, Jewel, our new hero, everybody's new best friend. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, I'll tell you in the chat, but she was amazing. And one of the things she said is that if you want something bad enough, you will not be denied. So if you want it, you can get it. You just have to work to get there. And if you want it bad enough, you will not be denied. And that was just like, I was like, yeah, woo! I was all excited about that. But let's see, get and keep and stay organized. That's something I'm horrible at, and I'm working on it more. But that's huge. And schedule your time. Like, schedule your day as much as you can. That way you'll find those little pockets where you can get in what you need to get in. Let your children become your reason, not your excuse. I found myself doing that a lot in the beginning. I've got to do this with the kids. I've got to get them to bed. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Well, yes, I do. I'm a mom. I have to do all that stuff. But why am I doing this? Why am I even, if I'm going to dabble in network marketing, why am I taking time away from my kids? So it's either do it or don't. And so that was a big deal to me. Because I am doing this for them. I am doing this to give them a better life. But I also need to make sure that when I'm doing it, I'm not half-assing it, that I'm actually doing it. And that was something that I learned from it. And again, God, I've gotten so lost. I need more ketones. And one of the big things about bringing in the family, it talked about how what we do with our kids and our family, we can instill pride in our kids, teach them self-starting and self-motivation. And those were all beautiful things that I thought were pretty cool. And be aware of your mindset and product knowledge and strategy. Be strategic, period. And then last of all, there's two more things, and then I'll hush. Be a person of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And that was big too, because integrity is huge in this business. And there's so many network marketing companies, and there's so many people out there doing this and doing that and trying to sell something and trying to get people on their team that, you never know who you're talking to and how they're going to be, and you can't prejudge them either. And I'm guilty of that a lot. And the girls called me out on that. And I was like, well, I would do this, but I just don't know. And they're like, why are you prejudging? Stop prejudging. And that was big. Like, you can't prejudge somebody. You don't know if they're going to be good at this. You don't know if they want to do it or not. And if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. If you never ask, it's always going to be no. And that was, everything was just big. Oh my God, you guys have to go to this thing. And the last thing I'm going to say is, drum roll, please. Can't is not a word. It's not can't, it's won't. It's not, I can't do this. I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of that. It's you won't do this because of that. And that right there just rocked my world. And I was like, damn, okay, I got it. All right. And there's so much more. Like, we could have a Zoom, like a week-long Zoom. But I know I forgot something. But anyway, I hope I helped somehow.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you for all the tips. Seriously, they were awesome. We probably could honestly Zoom for like a year after that.
Yeah.
Like, that's how many
Absolutely.
like, it was just constant mic drops. Like the mic drop gif was just dropped the whole weekend. It was awesome. But that was so great. Thank you for sharing, Valerie. That was like, watching you transform has been incredible. I'm so excited that you're building a team now. We're going to watch. Valerie's going to be like rank 6 tomorrow. So everybody just go ahead and watch her because she's doing amazing. But yeah, we're going to close it out. We're going to hear from not only my best friend in real life, but my best friend in like everything. So Jackie, stop eating. But we're gonna end it with Jackie. Wait, I can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Wait.
There you are.
Okay. Yeah, I legit put so much hot mustard in here that like I burned my nostrils. It was bad.
Do I know anybody?
All right, no. So for those of you who don't know me, hi everybody, I'm Jackie. I've been in business with Christina for like a bajillion years. I just can't get away from her. But I enjoy every moment of it. So I've gone to a few of these events with Christina because she has been drilling this down my throat since like the first day that I met her, about how important these events are, and it really is, because a lot of you don't know me because I took time out from my personal business, which really affected it greatly. And after going to this event and meeting Luna and Donna and Juliette, it was like what I needed as an individual. So I'm really excited. Real fast, because it's late, but I just wanted to go over a few things that I learned that was really beneficial to me. So something that I learned that was really key was about being a coffee girl. And one of the girls talked about how when you go to a diner or a restaurant and somebody's asking you for coffee, she doesn't stop after the first one and go, and somebody says no to her and then just drops the coffee pot and is like, I'm done. She goes on to the next person and goes, do you want coffee? And the answer is either yes or no. And I think that's super beneficial to take away, because I know with my personality and the way that I am, sometimes I take that to heart and I don't shake it off. So be the coffee girl. Go ahead and ask people, do you want some ketones? Do you want to be part of this experience? It's either yes or no, and then move on. And Donna, literally, you being best friends with everybody, I can't. So be the coffee girl, ask yes or no, and it doesn't matter what they say. You're just there to do that. Just give me 1 second. Another cool thing that was said was that Eric Worre said it doesn't matter the average amount of people that you're working with and like what that actual number is. It's all based because you're going to impact more. So even if it's just 10 or 15 people that you're working with and talking to, that impact is going to be so much greater than you actually realize. And I think that's super important to remember as well when you're talking with people, that it's going to stick with them. If you're treating them the right way, which I'm sure all of you are, just go and remember that they're going to remember you and how kind you are and all of that goodness that you're giving out into the world. We are in the business of like inviting people, and we have these great opportunities, but the big important thing, and everybody was talking about this, that it has to be about us first. Every day you need to re-invite yourself to the business. So make sure that you're waking up and you're re-inviting yourself to the business, that this is what you want to do. And it's okay if you're going to have a day that it's not where you don't want to accept the invitation. You have to know that, and you have to know your own boundaries, and you have to know when those boundaries need to be tested. But the first step is to re-invite yourself every single day. Now, in previous businesses, Christina and I have learned about the buy and sell groups, which I'm sure some of you coming from other groups have, or other teams and businesses have learned this as well. But honestly, whoever spoke about this, page 21, I don't even remember. It's like from page 21 in our book, guys, because I'm like ridiculous with that. Okay, it was Angel Fletcher. Oh, thank you, Chris. This woman, she's crazy. Like, for the people who say that old people can't be on Facebook, they're liars. Because this girl, literally, I want to say she's probably like 60 and has a better Facebook career than I do. So, background story of her, she told us that she has five personal Facebook pages. So that means it's her picture with, it's about her, everything. That is so that she could max out each of her private Facebook pages with groups. So I think she's in 30,000 groups. You're allowed 6,000 groups, and she has 5 pages. So it's literally 30,000 groups that she's in. I don't know if you guys, which I'm sure you guys have done before, is how you do like the searching for groups that you belong in or people for you to chat with. If not, I'm sure Christina will do that like another night. But this was mind-blowing about going into the buy and sell. So you really need to change the way that we're doing this. Yes, we have an amazing product, and yes, it is helping so many people, but here's the one thing that's going to set you aside from everybody else, is that don't just go on and say, oh my God, look at how great I look and this is what I did it with. Go on and say, hey, look, I have this size 22 pair of jeans that doesn't fit me anymore because I'm in a size 8 now. And now you're kind of roping them in. You're not trying to sell the pants. The pants may not even exist. You may not have even been a size 22. It's okay. Nobody's going to know. Just go and sell them, and sell them for like $100 or whatever. You just want people to interact on that page, so that way you could start talking to them, and because they're going to want to know, how did you go from a size 22 to a size 8? The other thing which really struck me when she was talking about this, especially having met Donna, and Donna's husband Aaron works closely with her, is that he could do that too. And they gave like a little script that he could go on and say, I don't want to buy my wife new clothes anymore. I just did that last week. I'm in search of size 2 jeans now. And it's getting him the ability now to, again, we're going full circle. And now now Donna and Aaron can continue to work together, and it's still keeping them as business partners. And it's like such a beautiful thing. I feel that that was such an important thing to take away as well. Be creative with it. If it's not pants, maybe it's shoe sizes. There's a lot of people who lose weight and they lose shoe sizes or the width, shirts, whatever it may be. And if you really want to be truthful about it, she said, go to a consignment shop, buy a $2 pair of jeans, turn around and want to sell them for $40. Heck, you may make some money, you may not, but at least you're going to build that. And then the one last thing for our green personalities. I am a huge green personality. If you could see the amount of notes that I took, because I am crazy like that. The one last thing was, do not answer questions that have not been asked. So for green personalities, sometimes we want to have that like word vomit because we're so excited and we want people to know everything because we need to know everything. And it's really important to know your audience and know who you're speaking to. So the biggest difference is Kay Wood and myself. Christina is a complete red person. Honestly, if you just told her that this thing would clear your wrinkles, she'd spend $1 million. And me, I'd be like, can you please prove that? Because I don't believe you. And it's fine. But especially somebody like Christina, who is just going to believe you right off the bat and just say, okay, yeah, like I want to jump into this. It doesn't actually matter what you have to say, just as long as you have the opportunity for them. So if they're not going to ask you any questions, then that's fine. But don't just start regurgitating all this information if it's not even something that's in their forefront. Because I can tell you right now, Christina could care less about like all the science stuff sometimes, where me, I need to know all of that, but I couldn't tell you anything about the comp plan. And Christina could tell you every little tiny breakdown to the cent of where your money is coming from. And I think that that is really important. Just know your audience. Don't answer questions before questions. And make sure that you're getting those productive days in. It's okay. Just reinvite yourself every day and you're going to show up. So that is what I took away from it.
Oh my God. That was amazing. What a way to close. I was like laughing because I'm so red and I have to learn to talk to people. Like when I get a green, I throw them in a 3-way right away because I'm so red that I'll actually get annoyed and then I'll lose the sale or the recruit, which I see some of the reds like nodding their head like, yep. So just, that's what our greens are here for. And greens, you got us reds. When you have a red, throw us in a 3-way. Yeah, really good stuff. Love the jeans thing. Like that was just, when I heard that, I was like, oh, what up? But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, I'm going to end the recording. Thank you, Jackie, for coming on and sharing all that good stuff. I miss watching you teach, and it's just really nice to see that again. So it was an incredible, incredible trip, and I'm so, so blessed to have you guys on the team and in my life, and just I can't wait till more because I just want to hug and snuggle you. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. I'm already like buying like some things for more that I want to give you guys, and I'm just like, which is just like an added thing, and I'm just so excited. More snuggle parties. It's going to be amazing. Shanna, by the way, like before we close out, because we did mention color personalities for a second, and even for the replay watchers, I think it's important to know your color personality and what the heck we're talking about here. So if you just Google Marcetta, M-A-R-C-A or C-E-T-T-A, it'll come up in Google, color personalities. You'll see what the heck we're talking about. There's reds, blues, greens, and yellows. And it actually helps you to sell because it'll show you like what you are and how you talk to people who are red, blue, green, yellow. But anyway, that's just a side note if you're watching the replay or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to end the recording and thank you guys so much for showing up. I have a little announcement right after we stop. So